Hey, everybody, and welcome back into the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. My name is Sam, and today I am joined by the beautiful Jennifer Johnson from CinchShare. Welcome on in, Jennifer. Great to have you.
Hi, Sam. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited about today. We've had a couple of great catch-ups, and I am absolutely loving learning more about you and your amazing platform. But before we dive into my questions, how about you tell us a little bit about you, your background, and CinchShare?
Okay, great. Let's see here. I'm a mom of four. I have four kids and I unschool them, and we travel in our RV to North Carolina and Florida, and we just spend a lot of time together. So we're super family-oriented family. And let's see, I started CinchShare 8 years ago this month, actually. In 1 week, It's going to be our 8-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a fun 8 years. My youngest was 1 year old when I created CinchShare, and I was having success posting on Facebook, but throughout the day, I didn't have time to be online. So I needed to schedule my posts. And so that's when I started using, some other software, other apps, and found that I needed an easier way and an even faster way. So that's how we kind of created CinchShare. We just reduced the amount of clicks it took to schedule a post. And so we just made it really simple. And when I started it 8 years ago, it was honestly just for myself to use. We created it on my computer, and it was literally just for myself to use. But some other direct sellers heard about it and they're like, we want to use it too. And so we created a website and we opened up for business. And it's kind of, the rest has been history.
That is amazing. And I've got to say, like, the first thing I hear there, because I'm a mum of four as well. So I get the being a parent, being busy, running business, doing all those things. And I feel like there's a bit of an affinity going on here because we also live in a caravan on the weekends, every weekend. You call it an RV, but when I said to you before, we go camping, we glamp, we don't camp, but
us too, same.
Yeah. But the thing that just stood out to me there was you had a 1 year old and you went, hey, I'm going to start a business. Who does that?
I don't know. I guess I did.
I think this is a really good example of someone who's very determined to make their way in the world, because having a 1 year old in itself is craziness. And then jumping in and going, hey, I'm going to do one of the hardest things anyone can ever do, and I'm going to start a business. I think that's super impressive. So well done. And the fact that you're at 8 years is something really awesome to celebrate too. I'm looking forward to getting to 8 years. We're in our 8th year now. And I remember every time we got past one of those milestones, the first 2 years and the first 5 years was like a great big, personal high five. I love that. Big fist pump. So well done.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm still enjoying it.
I just want to ask a question. I'm sure that, many of our direct selling family out there are wondering right now is, how do you even begin creating a platform like this? To go from, hey, I want to create something bigger and better than what's out there right now. Have you got a technical background? What was it that inspired you to say, I'm just going to make my own thing?
Partially I had help with my husband. He is a computer whiz, and he knew what I was doing. I showed him what I was doing, and I had all these sticky notes on my computer desktop that I was like flicking back and forth and copying and pasting. And I was doing all these things where I was seeing posts that I wanted to use or creating content, and then I was saving it on my computer, but it wasn't where I was going to be posting it. It wasn't where I could use it. And so I needed a place to tie it all together. And so, like I said, he and I just sat down and I showed him exactly what I was doing. And he's like, well, let's create this. And so we literally just, we built the post message area. We built the area where you can add a link. We clicked on the buttons, and we just literally created this screen on the computer that could help me simplify what I was doing over and over and over. And it worked. It was just for myself. So it wasn't like necessarily I went out thinking, hey, I'm going to start this big business. I'm going to create this platform. It was just, how can I make my life easier?
Yeah.
And so I created the app with my husband, and it was just something that benefited others too. So
I love that. And the fact that you've built something that works for you rather than trying to fix everyone else's problem is, I think, probably the magic here, because you've solved a problem that you had, which therefore so many others are also, trying to work their way through. So can you tell us a little bit of, I'm sure that a lot of our listeners right now know what CinchShare is, but for those that don't, would you mind telling us a little bit about CinchShare, how it works, what it does?
Of course. CinchShare is a social media management and publishing platform. So it's where you can save and store all of your social media posts, your graphics, your post messages, your links, everything like that. And then you can have it all together in one place. And then you can actually schedule your posts ahead of time. And we connect with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest. We actually haven't released that. We're going to release that next month, but we actually have people testing it.
Heads up right there, everyone.
That's right. Pinterest is coming soon. So we connect with these platforms so that our users can schedule their content ahead of time. So a lot of our users are direct sellers, they're moms, they may work full time elsewhere. And so in the evening is when they have time to get on and plan their content ahead for the next week, or in the morning, whenever it's convenient for them. And then their posts get delivered, and then they can spend their time on the platforms just actually engaging and building relationships with their customers.
And this was something that you and I have spoken about at length, and we're going to talk a little bit about today. But just before we move on to some of those more, strategic questions when it comes to social media, because I know that you're filled with some amazing knowledge and information that our listeners are going to love to hear about today. Maybe give us a bit of a sneak peek into what is maybe coming up for CinchShare this year. If you got I said to you before, can I ask you about what's coming up? And you went, yeah, I'm a blabbermouth. So blab away. Okay, well, tell us I am. What's coming? What can we look forward to?
Well, I forgot to mention that Pinterest is coming soon in our conversation earlier, but that is a big one, actually. I guess I kind of forgot about it, but being able to schedule to Pinterest is going to be huge for direct sellers. That's a really great platform for people to find and shop and to link to other informational things. And so it's a great way to show up. And so I'm excited for that. And then along with Pinterest, we have a soon new added integration with Giphy. So,
ooh, wow.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to schedule your gifts and be able to search for them and find them right in CinchShare.
Oh, wow.
Just similar to how we have a Canva integration where you can, open in Canva, you can be able to do that with Giphy and integrate right in there with there. And then also we're going to be doing a new rebrand here in the next month. So we're going to have a new website. We're going to have new brand colors. We're going to have some new swag. It's going to be fun.
That's super exciting. And, if for anyone that hasn't checked out your website, I'm just looking at it here over on the side. Do have a look at the website. We'll pop a link in as well for you guys to check it out. And we'll put a link in the show notes too, to give you guys a free 14-day trial. So you'll get to get in and have a little bit of a play with that. So for those that want to give this a bit of a try, definitely exciting. Now, did I just hear you mention Canva as well?
Yeah, we actually have a Canva integration in with CinchShare. And so you can log in to CinchShare. And if you're like, oh, I need to go create a graphic, you can click the Design with Canva button and it'll open up Canva. It'll open up your Canva right inside the CinchShare platform. And then when you click Publish, you're ready. It'll move it back over to CinchShare so you can schedule it. So it's a nice integration.
Awesome. I love that. So good. And the other thing is, I know we've got a lot of our direct sellers use CinchShare as well to schedule into their groups when they're running group events and parties and things like that. So you guys have got some really simple and easy integrations into groups in Facebook, not just business pages. Is that right?
Yes. On Facebook, you can schedule automatic posts for your Facebook groups. You can schedule automatic posts for your Facebook business page and to any albums you have in either of those places. And then you can also schedule to your personal profile with an additional push notification. So for people who are getting started and are posting on their profile, posting their why, posting personal things, but, things like that, you can actually pre-schedule those too.
Love that. I love that you just specified too the things we should be posting on our personal profile. Very good. And the other thing I do love about this is that you can share your content with others in your team, right? You can create albums and folders. Yeah, there you go. Folders so that you can share those with your team or I love the fact that you can share content around because sometimes, I know a lot of the people inside of our courses get kind of stuck. They're like, what do I do next? And we love to be able to provide them with templates, but I love that setup where you can actually have a folder you can share with people, particularly if you sign someone up into the business and you want to get them started. That's a fantastic setup.
Yeah, absolutely. We agree. So what's so great about folders is you can, in your CinchShare account, you can have a folder that has subfolders, very much like Dropbox, where you can organize your content. And so if you have a new recruit, somebody who joins your team, you can share a folder with them, and it can have, like, you can have a folder organized and say, hey, these are great VIP group posts. These are great posts for your business page. This is a great party script. This is the first one to get you started. This is how you use it. Just go in and, maybe update the names and tweak it a little bit to be from your voice. But you can actually give, a brand new person a real leg up and help them get started and kind of really reduce the overwhelm that social media brings, and then helps them just get started quickly. Because when they just get in and they start posting, and they just start posting a little bit, then they start seeing people engage, and it really lifts them up, and it's like, yes, this is working. And then they just continue, and it's really great for a beginner.
Yeah, I love that. So good. And anything that reduces the overwhelm, really, really powerful. So I think that's really clever that you guys have set that up. So let's talk a little bit about social media right now and what is going to be happening for 2022, what's going on in social media world. And I'd also love to get, some of your thoughts around what sinks, what swims, what works, what doesn't work. There's a whole load happening at the moment, but do you personally have any predictions for what you're expecting to see in 2022 with social media, maybe changes, or with our friends at Facebook?
Good question. Our friends at Facebook are pretty tight-lipped about anything that they are doing.
Yes, they are.
They're really
Even after they roll stuff out.
That's right. So they're trying new things. There's certainly some new group functionality, some new group features that they're creating. Sort of last year, they, at the end of the year especially, have really been pushing that when you're posting into a group, if you're posting anything business related, which most people are using Facebook groups for businesses. So if you're posting to a group, it's for business, then they want you posting as your business page. So for example, some people, if they are posting and they have a lot of sales language in their post messages, if they have dollar signs, things like that, sometimes Facebook, their AI will think that it's a marketplace post, and then they won't let it go through. And so, so if you post as your business page, though, then their AI doesn't stop it, because it says, hey, this is, they're being transparent. This is a business. And so I see more of that being pushed definitely in 2022. The more transparent you can be about your business, especially in groups, I think is going to be key. And, Facebook, a long time ago, used to only have profiles be part of groups, but they've been making changes to their platform overall. They've been adding groups, linked groups, linked pages, and are now wanting you to post as your business page. So I see them pushing that more and more, and then just continue growing. I think a lot of people are online. A lot of people are recruiting more people, saying, hey, this is how we do business now. So just seeing growth in that respect too, just on the platforms. But as far as content, I know there's a lot of people who really speak about posting just one type of content. There's a lot of conversation about reels and how you have to post them to be successful, and video and things like that. And there's definitely people who are successful on reels, and absolutely is a great option. And video is a great option. There's all sorts of different post types that the platforms allow. And so I see, people using those different post types that being really successful in 2022.
Yeah. And I can definitely see, we've been encouraging people as these new features roll out to definitely get in and use them and play with them, because Facebook's always going to be prioritizing those that use those new features. But also, you and I spoke about the importance a little while ago of people really mixing their content up and watching what's working, what's not working, but not essentially being a one-trick pony, which, people tend to, we see happen a lot. They kind of they find one piece of content that works really well, and then they just repeat it again and again and again, and it loses its impact. So, what would your recommendation be for people when they are planning out their content and they're thinking, what am I going to do over the next week or next 2 weeks? Do you have any hot tips for people to help them with, coming up with a really good mix of content?
I think just variety of actually the post type. And what I mean by that is, on Facebook, for example, you can post a graphic and a post message with it. You can post a multi-photo, so you can have multiple images. You can post a video, and you can post a status. And people get in the habit of only posting graphics over and over. Or if you do a lot of video, then you post a lot of video. So really a tip to really just increase that engagement, get that variety going, is to use all the different post types that the platform allows, because the platform will reward you for that. For example, if you have been posting in your group graphics post, photo post after photo post, and seeing your engagement dwindle, but then you ask a really, great, simple question in just a status and let it go through, and you'll find that you have tons of comments because Facebook's rewarding you for using that different post type. So it's kind of like just playing on their platform, using all the things that they have available to you rather than just sticking to that one.
Yeah. I want to talk about that for a moment, because one of our favorite types of content is the good old engagement post, the good question, the question that helps you learn about your audience, that helps you build a relationship with them, interact with them, and of course, get more engagement on your page. This is one strategy that we really teach inside of our course, because there are some clever ways to do this and some not so clever ways to do this. But I still hear people saying, oh, but it's clickbait and it's not real and you shouldn't do it. Now, I know full well this is an amazing way to create engagement on your page, and it works. What's your opinion on engagement questions?
Really, engagement questions can just be anything that you individually you like, or you want to know, like, what do you genuinely want to know about your customers, if you, and ask that question. It's going to help you get to know them better and know whether they need your services, or your products. And if they don't, then that's fine too. And then you can learn, guess what? They might have 3 friends that do. So it's just like having those conversations. And that's really what engagement posts are, is they are conversation starters.
Yeah.
And so when you start the conversation, and that's all your post is too, when you're posting on the social media, you're starting the conversation. So you start the conversation. If somebody engages, go and comment back, reply, make a friend, and really be social with that person, and figuring out what, engagement questions work for you. It's different for everybody, because there's certain things that you think is funny. If you think something's funny, post it, that's what's so great about the variety. It's just, you don't want to post something that's not you, don't just take something from somebody else and post something that's not you and not speaking to your audience. That's like the biggest thing.
We were just talking before about relationship building on social media and the post and run that we see a lot of people doing. When it comes to posting your content on social media, it's not as simple as just throwing it out there and walking away till next week when you schedule, right?
Definitely not. You don't want to post and ghost. You definitely can sometimes,
post and ghost. I love that.
Yeah. You can put some content out there, a little bit preemptively, and know that, the algorithm is going to show it to so many people. Some people are going to start hopping on and engaging with it. And then if you plan to know when that time was, know when you scheduled your content, then you can be, it doesn't have to be exact. And that's what's so great about social media. But when you have a moment, go in and check on your content, go see if somebody's talking to you, and then continue that conversation. The faster you continue the conversation, the better. So if somebody replies and you wait 6 hours, is that, the end of the world? No, absolutely not. Because you're still talking to this person. But, if you can reply within 2, even better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good advice too. And don't be hanging on social media every moment of every day, but definitely get in and re-interact with people. And I like what you said to me before as well about, if you met someone in the street and they said, hey, I really love your hair, you wouldn't sort of just give them a thumbs up and walk away. That'd be so rude. And yet that's how you and I don't, but we see a lot of people treating people on social media.
Right. And I think that, sometimes people get in the habit of just scrolling. It depends on what they're into, and what's going on in their lives and what time of day it is, how people consume content. But for people who are actively, trying to grow a business and build relationships, being social is where it's at. So having the conversations, joining in on other conversations, commenting on other people's posts. It's not just about you posting and only talking to the people who are talking to you, but other people are posting too. And guess what? Just as much as you love it, when somebody engages with you, they love it too. So, going out there and giving all the love out there and really engaging to people, that's really what's also going to flip that engagement back to you. Sometimes if there are people who, maybe haven't been very consistent with posting, a great way to start and jumpstart that engagement is to go out there and give it. Go comment on 10 people's posts. And then when you do post next, those people, it's going to jumpstart you.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Now, I want to ask about hashtags for a moment, because this is something that we have seen. She's like, oh, no. We've seen so much shift in this space over the last few years. There was a period where it was, hey guys, it is for Instagram only. Don't use them on Facebook. And then it sort of moved to this stage where it was like, okay, you can, but you got to be really careful about how you do it. And I've noticed Facebook is really starting to come to the party a bit more at the moment when it comes to hashtags. So can you tell us what your observations are and how you would recommend that people use them on Facebook right now in 2022?
Think that you really kind of limiting the hashtags you use on Facebook is key. Creating maybe one hashtag geared towards your specific type of content. It's mainly so that someone can look for something and easily find it. So, for example, in a group, if like you're doing a training or if you're doing a party, you might want to have a hashtag, for the topic. Yep. In a sense. And then that way, when people come in later, if they weren't there in the moment, seeing stuff ahead of time, they can come into the group and they can click on that hashtag or they can search on it and it's going to bring up all the posts in there. So it's kind of just a way to organize content within Facebook. So it's a great thing to use, but you don't want to have like on Instagram, you don't want to have nearly as many hashtags are allowed over there. So you want to really just kind of stick with one, maybe two.
Yeah. And one of the things that I've noticed is happening a little bit as hashtags are becoming more and more widely used on Facebook, and it's sort of they're loosening up on that. It's not a restriction, but they were penalizing people in the past for using hashtags on business page posts, and that's starting to shift slightly. But what I'm seeing people doing a lot of is hashtagging their own business page or their own business name. What are your thoughts about doing that?
To be honest, I actually hadn't seen people doing that, but it just
must
makes
be
sense.
My circles. I'm seeing it a lot, and I think it's actually breaking my head a little bit.
Well, maybe they're just trying to show up and thinking that, if you search or something, but Facebook's, they're pretty smart. And so, you can kind of do all these different tricks and stuff like that. But if it's not how they're meaning you to use it, it's kind of just going to be all for naught, so certainly no harm. But if you like, for example, if you don't have hashtags in your Facebook posts, it's not like you need to go scramble and try to add them. It's just more like thinking how you might want to use one.
Yeah. And our motto has always been, when in doubt, leave it out. It's when it comes to hashtags, as much as there's definitely a shift happening at the moment with that, I think it's still, you're going to perform better if you leave it out rather than making the mistake. So look, you guys work with a lot of direct sellers. You have many, many, many people in our industry that are using your amazing platform. What are some of the common or typical mistakes you see direct sellers making on social media?
The biggest one right now is a lot of direct sellers, when they got started with a Facebook group, and they didn't get started with having a Facebook business page. And technically they should get started with a Facebook business page first. It's actually in Facebook's terms of service that if you're doing business on their platform, that you have a business page. Yeah. But then, once you do, a lot of people are like, oh, now I have multiple places to post. It's so stressful. I have more to post. And I like to think of it as, hey, I have a whole nother place where I get to reach people. And so I think of it as like another article, another newspaper, another something where you get to get your content in front of people. And it is a slightly different feed than your group. And so even if people are following you in both places, it doesn't matter. Like the algorithm is going to feed people based on what they consume. And so the very things that you're posting in your group could easily be shuffled and posted to your business page. Like it's super easy, but then you have the opportunity of reaching even more people. So it's a great win. And then when you have a business page, you can post as your business page in your Facebook group, which will make sure that you don't have any trouble with marketplace posts and basically just keep Facebook happy.
Yeah. Oh, amen to that. I'm so glad that you've just brought that up, because this is probably one of our biggest pet peeves is people that think in this industry that they need to use just their personal profile and their group. And a business page has got so many unbelievable opportunities and tools attached to it. It's just another way of reaching people. I love what you just said there, Jennifer, about the fact that it's just another place that you can meet and connect. And I like to think of business page as kind of like a web page where anyone can view it, anyone can see it, anyone can find it. And it's a great feeder to your groups. But like you've said a few times now, if you've got a business page, you get the option then inside of your group to post either as your business or you, the individual, through your personal profile. So you get the choice then. So I love that. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that's definitely one of the things I think so many people miss out on. Now, if someone right now was thinking, oh, I started my direct selling business a while ago and I didn't set a business page up, how do I even go about doing that? Maybe they've got a group, maybe they've got their personal profile there where they've been running everything for a while. What would be your advice for kickstarting a business page effectively on social media if they've not done that yet?
Well, the good thing is that if they've not done it, you can do it today. I mean, it takes about 2 minutes. You can go get signed up. It's free, doesn't cost anything. And then you just have it. And so basically it's like going out there and putting a public bulletin about your business. And if you go to your business page and you allow for reviews, then you can invite your customers to give you reviews when they do business for you. And so those things are also public. Those things are found when people Google. And so those are always great things. And then when you link your business page to your group, when people go to your business page on Facebook, they can find your group right from there. So it's a great funnel when people have found you on your business page and they can click and they can learn about you. They can find your group that way. Whereas sometimes most direct sellers groups are private. And so, people have to know exactly what they're searching for to find it. So just the fact that you can go get started today, even if you don't post anything to it, but you set it up, you put a banner image, just like your group. If you just get it started, that's just already a win. So it's really easy.
Awesome. And just before we get into our fun questions, have you got any other hot tips for someone who is trying to make way or get started on social media?
Oh goodness, I have so many.
Maybe give us your top ones.
Yeah, the top way to get started, is honestly, it sounds so cliche, but you just get started, just start posting, even if you're copying somebody else, if you're copying your upline, if you were given some posts, there's a ton of free engagement content out there. You can find it, just start posting, just start asking, and just start the conversation. Because once you do, people are going to start guiding the conversation. You're going to see what people like and what they interact with, and then you're going to learn what to do. They're going to tell you exactly what to do next because they're going to be interacting with your content. And if they aren't, then you know that doesn't work. Try something different.
Yep. Love it. Awesome. So let's jump into our quick fun questions here. Have you got a book that we can add to our Accelerator book list, a must read or a favorite read?
So I do have some personal books, but the book that's coming to mind right now that's specific for direct sellers is a book by Lynn Bardowski, and it's called $1 Million Party Girl, or it's called Party Secrets of a $1 Million Party Girl. And it's a very, very small book. It's an easy read, and you can find it on Amazon. And it is literally about how direct sellers can get started with posting a Facebook party. And then she also talks a little bit about your Facebook group from there. And so it's a great beginner how-to, and then also a great refresher for even seasoned people who have been in the industry for a while and just want to refresh.
Awesome. Love it. And did you have a personal book that you wanted to throw in, or are we going to leave it at that one?
Let's see. My favorite personal book is called She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. Mm-hmm. And I read it years ago, but that's just for some reason always stood out as one of my favorite books. So I throw that out there.
Love it. All right. Well, I'm going to check that one out. We do love a really good read. And if you could have a superpower, any superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, I wish I could rewind time because I would really love to go back to starting with all my babies all over again.
Oh, yes, I know. Your eldest is now 8 with 9?
No, that's my youngest. My oldest is almost 18. So I have a 17, 15, 13, and 9-year-old.
So tell me this, what do your kids think of you, mum, the social media digital entrepreneur?
I don't think they even really understand. Like they don't get it. They don't care. They're not on Instagram. They're not on Facebook. So, they're on TikTok and a little bit, but I have 3 boys and they really aren't on social media the way that my daughter is. So they don't care, but they think it's cool that we get to, have the flexibility that, that the industry and our lifestyle brings and social media brings, with being able to, like travel on the weekends like we do.
Yep. They're thankful for that.
Yes, exactly.
We've also got 3 boys and 1 girl. And I've got to say that our kids, both on one hand, think it's really cool that we dabble in technology every day, but they're also really resentful of the fact that because we dabble in technology every day, we really hold them back from having freedom with social media and technology because we just want them to be kids. They're like, but you guys get to.
Right. But we're adults. So, we make the rules.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. I get to make the rules. So favorite quote, Jennifer?
My favorite quote is, "You can't beat what you copy," by Gary Vee.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
I love that. I always, I go out there and you get inspiration, but you just keep staying in your lane and just doing you. And I know some people, when they get started, they have success and they're like, wow, this person's copying me, and it's like, don't worry about them, just keep doing you. It's going to be, they're not you. They can't copy you. So
yeah. Yeah, it is a big complaint in this industry, isn't it? Oh, someone's just used my post. I saw my photo appearing somewhere else. It's like, you know what?
Don't worry about it.
It's a compliment.
Right, exactly.
I love that. You can't beat what you copy. That's fantastic. I've not heard that one, but that's going up on the wall. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta love Gary Vee. And last question before we wrap up. If you could go back in time and say one thing to your past self, what would that be?
Oh, goodness. I guess I would probably just say to enjoy it all.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes when you're a new mom and you've got a bunch of kids and, things are stressful, you just, are making it through the day. And I remember just, kind of being frazzled a little bit. And, if I could go back in time and just say, hey, just chill. It's all going to be great.
They'll live. They'll survive.
Relax. Enjoy it all.
Yep, absolutely. I concur with that one for sure. So look, thank you so much for jumping in today. I know that you are super busy, Jennifer, and you guys have got so much going on at the moment. I cannot wait to see what comes for you guys this year and seeing the new branding that's coming out. And of course, the introduction of Pinterest as well to your platform, which will be fantastic. So we'll put some links. Have you got anything else you wanted to say to our listeners? Anything that you want to encourage them to do perhaps before we wrap up?
I guess you had mentioned that you were going to share a link to get a 14-day free trial. And I just wanted to share that if you use a promo code called Jumpstart, so if you just go type Jumpstart in the promo code area, that you can get an additional 2 weeks. So you can get a total of 30 days, a whole month to just try CinchShare for free.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So we'll put a link then in the show notes for everybody. And if they use Jumpstart with a T at the end, we'll pop that in the show notes as well, guys. So you can get 30 days, not 14. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. And I know that everyone's going to love it. We'll also put some links perhaps to some of your tutorials so people can really quickly and easily see what it's all about if they want to suss out how this amazing platform works. But thank you so much for being so generous with your time today, Jennifer. We really appreciate you and can't wait to see what comes for you guys this year. So thank you again for joining us on the podcast.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. It's been great. I love having this conversation with you.
Yeah, such a pleasure. And look, guys, thank you too for tuning in today. Been great to have you all again. And we look forward to seeing you again on the podcast for next week. But for now, look after yourselves and we'll see you in 7 days on the podcast. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. If you love listening and you found that this was helpful for your direct selling business, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check out the recommended video that's popped up on your screen right here. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.